This PowerPoint is meant to act as a training tool for all volunteers who would like to help during assessments. We want to make sure you have all the info you need prior to going out on an assessment. Our mission here at METS is to provide Maryland horse owners with resources and assistance when they have horses in need of transition. METS is a program of the Maryland Horse Council Foundation, and we are currently grant funded by the Right Horse Initiative and fiscally sponsored by Days End Farm Horse Rescue. There are numerous reasons why an owner might contact METS for assistance. Some of those reasons can be due to financial, time, or effort taking care of the horse being too much for them, the horse needing to step down because of age or injury, or maybe the owner just wants to do all they can to help find the horse a safe home. The bottom line here is it really doesn't matter why an owner is contacting METS for assistance. We're just here to help provide the best resources we can for that situation. So you're scheduled to volunteer for an assessment, but what does that actually mean? What does an assessment look like? Prior to the assessment, METS staff will have information about the horse's current situation. This can include facts on their history, behaviors, their routine, health information, and just a general idea about what the owner is looking for in terms of assistance. Prior to getting hands-on at the assessment, METS staff will have the owner sign the pre-assessment waiver form. Once the assessment is completed, staff will go over the assistance options agreement form with the owner and have them sign that as well. Once we arrive on site for the assessment, METS staff will speak with the owner to fill in any missing info or to clarify info we might have questions on. We'll also observe how the owner interacts with their horse, and we might get hands-on to check the horse's vitals, feel for old injuries or scars, check for any sensitivities, and also look for brands or tattoos. We'll have the equine in-person visit form, pictured here, ready to be filled out for any new info we get during the visit. After the initial conversation with the owner, METS staff works on getting pictures for the listing. We try and get confirmation shots on both sides of the horse, as well as a picture of the hind end and then any personality shots that we can get. If applicable, we will also get video of the horse under saddle or moving out on the flat or in hand. So now that you've heard a lot about what the staff will be doing during the assessment, you're probably asking, what am I doing during the assessment? METS staff rely heavily on volunteers to fill in the missing information on the assessment sheet as the topics come up. The more info we can document from the assessment, the better we're able to market the horse. You are our second pair of hands. Even though staff might not specify what section of the form they're going over, they are relying on the volunteer to be their second set of eyes and ears. If you see a section on the form that hasn't been discussed during the assessment, bring it up to the assessment specialist so they can ask and make sure that we have the correct information on file. Here's an example of a situation that might come up during the assessment. You, the staff, and the owner walk out to the field, and the horse walks right up to be haltered, comes into the barn, and stands quietly while cross-tied. While walking into the barn, the owner says, "Sparkles usually comes in when we call, but he can be stubborn when his friends are out with him." What info would you mark on the assessment form? From what you observed and what the owner said, on the ground behavior evaluation section of the form, you can mark that Sparkles is good for catching, leading, leaving the herd, haltering, going through gates, and standing in cross ties. You can also make note that sparkles can be herd-bound sometimes. It doesn't matter too much if the info isn't in the correct section on the form. As long as the info is written down somewhere, that's really all that matters. The general comment section, pictured here at the end of the form, is a good go-to for quick notes. One important value METS tries to abide by is providing assistance without judgment. Often, taking that first step of asking for assistance is hard enough for owners, so we want to be able to fully support them no matter what their situation is. It's not our space to judge an owner for their decision for the horse or the situation they're in, or even the condition of the horse. We're here to help offer any services they may need in order to do best by the horse. METS staff and volunteers, above all else, must be compassionate, non-judgmental, and accepting. We are not on site to comment on training choice, general care, or anything else unless there is imminent danger. Assessments can be emotional for the owner, so we want to make sure we are compassionate and understanding towards their situation and their emotions. Even if the horse being assessed does not seem like a candidate for euthanasia, MET staff will most likely mention our end-of-life assistance options. Our goal is to open up the conversation with the owner for the future if they decide this is a service they need, or if they know of someone who could need it. Euthanasia can be expensive and emotional, but we want to be able to provide that for owners if they are in a situation where it's best. Volunteers are so important to METS, and we need all the help we can get for assessments, benefit shows, fairs or expos, booths at clinics, as well as fundraising efforts or anything else you can think of. Any ideas we are open to talking to you about.